into action.
All right. Hi, I'm David Ambrico, and this is my culminating video for Leading Change. Uh, Coming into the class, I had very little, maybe no understanding formally of the subject matter. I think I made that pretty clear by the pretest score. But by reading through the chapters in Brown's book and reflecting on my own current surroundings, I've gained a much better understanding of organizational development, especially with regard to organizational change. Now, I'm one of those kind of guys that learns best by compare and contrast. So I applied everything I read to my current job and the company that I'm with, as well as previous companies and experiences that I've had. And also as a small business owner or wanting to be a small business owner in a company that I'm looking to operate.
Can you explain the role of conflict in organizational change based on your experience?
Yeah. I worked for a company that was enormously successful within my industry. And we were so successful that another company came in and purchased us. They wanted to buy into the magic that we had. Problem was that they had no intention of retaining or continuing the momentum and everything that we had built. They were really coming in and buying our assets. So they stepped in and with really poor leadership, bought us, tried to change our culture overnight, and set up a new way of doing things. The unfortunate result was no one bought into their managerial process, and they did everything wrong. Based on reading what I've just read over the last 6-7 weeks, was if they came in with a organized plan to lay out a structure for changing, they would have gotten a lot more buy-in, and they did none of that.
And what can you say about the social, political, and cultural environment of your industry at this point?
So that's a great conversation. So what I've learned through the readings was that has a lot to do with organizational change. And what we're seeing within the industry, especially since 2008, 2009, the financial crisis, or meltdown, as many call it, you've got government regulators coming in and basically taking a harder stance in the financial services industry, and it's warranted. Dodd-Frank came into play, basically mandating that advisors choose a path, whether they're going to be commission-based or fee-based, where currently, or up until currently, they were doing both. And there's, I think, a hard date that basically is saying that they've got to take one path or the other. Now, change agents saw this 15 years ago and started making changes. But it was the commission-based model is such a profitable model that a lot of senior management were really resistant to it, claiming that the advisors really should be up to them to position to their clients how the most appropriate means of doing business, when obviously the regulators saw this differently and saw it as a conflict. And this is radically changing the industry. And within the next 2 years, it's just going to be either a commission-based commission-based business or a fee-based advisory business.
Can you think of any ways you might apply what you've learned in this course to your current company?
Yeah, the current company I'm with right now, great company. They really look out for the client. But unfortunately, some of the management, it's two entrepreneurs that started it, and I should really say they're financial advisors. They weren't really entrepreneurs. They followed a pretty traditional model and got enormously successful in doing it. But in doing so, they stuck to a lot of old ways of building a business. And the managers that are in place right now are really good people, but they're not professionally trained as managers, and they're certainly not trained as organizational change agents. So the direction, in fact, it's something that I'm really seriously thinking about writing a paper and submitting it to the company, is laying out a path for change. But it's certainly needed within the organization. Again, you rarely find companies that are so client focused within the financial services industry that really try to do everything in the best interest of the client. And yet we're stuck in a old management paradigm.